afternoon, everybody. What's happening? Are we having fun yet? Or still? Yes? I love that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we have a jam-packed 4:30 for you today with a whole bunch of things to talk about. And I know already that people have some questions about some of the things that have gone on today between new forms yesterday that were released today and about the whole unemployment thing. So we want to make sure that we get to all of that. But first, I do believe that we have some special guests. And I think that Fiona is going to introduce our special guests, if I'm not mistaken. So Fiona, I'm going to unmute you. You have the floor.
Thank you. So yes, I can't see them, but I'm sure they're here. Our special guests are Liz Salguero and Jeff Salguero of the Circle of Care, which is a Wilton-based 5013C. And basically, Jeff and Liz are amazing, amazing people, and they're going to pair with us for May 14th for our Red Day. And I'm so excited that they're partnering with us. It's going to be an amazing day. And Liz and Jeff, if you're there, please hop on.
Okay, let me see if I can find them. Okay, I don't
have Zoom difficulties. Shall I text them?
I think so. So, because I don't see them on at present. And if they are on, you guys are muted, so we can't hear you. So give them a quick text, Fiona, and we'll move on with something else. And as soon as they're on, we'll pop back. Steve, did you want to talk about our winners for today?
Yeah, sure. Well, first we'll start with, seems like we're just giving away shift books left and right, guys? We did it this morning. We're going to do it again this afternoon. So today our shift winners are, oh, I got the wrong one. Sorry. Tama up in Ridgefield and Bogdan down here in Stamford. So please stop by and get your books, guys, and start reading. And I'd also like to announce the winners from today's, who was on the 9 o'clock session? Who was on? Everybody, a lot of people, right? Yay. Didn't you love our profit share textathon? It was fun. Our phones were texting off the hook all day long. So Dan, Carlos, and I received a total of 97 referrals from you guys. So we are busy, busy, busy team leaders right now. And we'd like to say that the two winners that were chosen randomly from the group are Dawn Grabover and Kim Tromba. You have each won $100 towards Facebook Ads on Command. Congratulations to you guys, and thanks to everybody for the referrals. We are on it, and we are going to strive to build your profit share, and we will keep you updated with the results. So thank you, guys.
That's awesome. And you know what? I just want to say to Steve and Dan and Carlos, what a great idea, and thank you so much for involving us all in that. A couple of things on that. First of all, even if you weren't Dawn or Kim, you're still winners because you have three amazing people who are going to be reaching out and building your downline for you. So the $100 that you maybe didn't win today turns into hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars over time as that downline builds. So so congratulations to everyone who chose to participate in that today. That's an awesome piece. And I'm thrilled to announce, and now thank God, I'm thrilled to announce that I just heard today from a bunch of you that your PPP was approved and or being funded. I was one of those people who heard today that our PPP is funded, and it's a good thing because now we have to definitely keep the team leaders on the payroll to make sure that they can call all 97 people. So thank you for the federal government for keeping our payroll funded and cruising on ahead. All right, guys. Fiona, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Thumbs up? Okay, excellent. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Fiona, and you can just intro them one more time. Where are you? There you go.
Thank you. So yes, I would like to reintroduce Liz and Jeff Salguero, who are most amazing people. They're Circle of Care, and they're going to be partnering with us on the 14th of May. So Liz and Jeff, I think I see you now, so please take it away. You have to unmute yourselves. Rick, can you unmute them?
Yep, they're unmuted now.
Unmuted. So we had a little bit of a scramble to get here because I literally just got the email that our PPP was approved too.
Yay!
So I was busy, telling everybody about that as we were scrambling to get on this call. So excuse us for being late, but it was for a good reason.
Hello, everybody.
So I don't know how much, there's a big group of people here, but last year, Fiona's group came to help us out on your Red Day by helping us to reorganize our storage system in our basement of our new barn, because we moved into a new place at the beginning of 2018. And you know what it's like when you move. You kind of just unpack and organize the things that you're using immediately, not everything else. And it was an amazing day. We had a lot of fun. I see Stephen is on here. I recognize, and Dan, I recognize a few faces. It's kind of hard to make everybody out. But it was a really great day. And Fiona approached us again this year for partnering on Red Day. But of course, we can't do anything together. So we had talked a little bit about maybe we could do a virtual kind of awareness campaign for Circle of Care through Keller Williams.
And Liz, could you just do us a favor, tell us exactly what Circle of Care does for anyone on the call who doesn't know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there are 79 people on this call. Probably most of them don't know. So Circle of Care is a local nonprofit based in Wilton, Connecticut that provides services to children with cancer and their families throughout the state. So we're a statewide organization based in Wilton. We have been around for about 17 years now. It was founded about a year after our son was diagnosed with cancer. He is 21 years old and lying on the couch in the other room because his classes are officially over. So we had a good story. And we felt this tremendous need to kind of give back to this community. The non-medical support services available for families is very, very, very limited. The majority of money that goes into the pediatric cancer world goes into research. So it leaves these families kind of adrift. A child who's diagnosed with cancer will typically be in treatment for 2 to 3 years. And the primary parent will have to stop working for the first 6 to 9 to 12 months. So it is a very big time out of a young family's life, out of a child's life. And financially, it is really, really devastating. 70% of the families here in Connecticut, regardless of what their economic status was at the beginning, face a financial crisis at some point during their child's treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, wow is right. We have 5 programs that are designed to meet the kind of changing needs of families during this long period of time. So we have a day of diagnosis care package that's given to them at the hospital that has all of the tools and tips for transitioning to their hospital life and for going home from the hospital. We have a training program that we do in conjunction with Yale New Haven Children's Hospital for the volunteers that work on the floor and in the clinic with these families so that they are able to be present and provide the necessary respite. We have a room makeover program called Art from the Heart, where when a child is well enough, we go into their bedroom or their playroom or wherever at home and design it into the room of their dreams. This is a really fun, feel-good program. And it's designed for these children who, despite the fact that they're not in the hospital or really sick, they're immune compromised or their stamina is low and they're not able to go to school and they're very, very isolated. And they also have no control over anything in their lives anymore. So this gives them something they can control. It gives the whole family something to look forward to. And it provides a new sense of community for them. We also have a book that we redo every year. It's called The Purple Pages. Of course, probably a lot of you won't get that because the Yellow Pages is a dinosaur. But it's a resource guide for families of all the things that they may need along the path, from nutritional advice, back to school advice, camps, wigs, financial advice, siblings, alternative therapies. And we produce that, we update that every year. Our financial assistance program is our biggest program. because it is the greatest need for these families. So we have the largest financial assistance program for pediatric cancer in the state of Connecticut. We have a cap of $3,000 per calendar year per family, so that our money goes far enough that we can help many, many families, but many organizations who say they have financial resources for families, they cap it at like $500. So just so that you have some kind of point of reference about the impact that we have. We're paying multiple months of rent. We're paying mortgages. We're keeping the utilities on. We also have a food and gas program so that we provide cards, debit cards for food and gasoline so that they can get to and from treatment and they can put fresh, healthy food on the table. Because the one thing these families will not do is not pay their doctors because they're afraid they won't get good care. So they cut back on everything else. And we're here to pay their cell phone bills so they can still be in touch, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of, as you can imagine, during this COVID crisis, this is even more intense for these families. As we have been saying all along, these guys are pros at shelter in place and staying clean, because when you have an immune compromised child, that's what you do. But now they're afraid to go to treatment because they might be exposing their child to the virus. They're afraid to go to the grocery store and bring it home. They're definitely not going to work. And most of the families that come to us for financial assistance are not the kind of families that are telecommuting anyway. So this has put a huge extra burden on them. And as we all know, sadly, there will be a lot of jobs that are just not going to come back once we come out of this. So we established a COVID-19 relief fund almost immediately. And we are at about $40,000 of a $100,000 goal for funding that. We have had to cancel all of our fundraising events for the year, with the exception of our 5K, which was supposed to happen this weekend. And we quickly, I hate this word now, pivoted to make it a virtual event. It's turning out to be an enormous success. People are really excited about not having to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and show up in one place, but be able to do this event either walking, running, biking, rowing, however they want to do it, wherever they want to do it, whenever they want to do it over this weekend. So that's kind of a recap. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, that's awesome, and thank you so much for giving us that overview. I think for a lot of us who haven't ever personally been through that experience, it's easy to think about some of the issues that could pop up, but that list of things that you help people pay for, I will tell you personally, I never thought that people might need help in all of those areas. So thank you for broadening our horizons today.
Well, can I just add one thing? Is that
Of course.
There's a lot of information out there right now because of this crisis that's talking about all of the relief efforts that are in place for people who are economically disadvantaged. That doesn't also include how vulnerable these families are on top of that. But when you say that, like, Eversource will give you a 3-month grace period to pay your electric bill, that's fine for somebody who might have been furloughed, but that is not going to work for these families, because 3 months from now, they're not going to have the 3 months worth plus that next month's money in the bank in order to pay those bills. So we're helping them to stay on top of it to prevent a further decline and further financial crisis by helping them to continue to pay. People are saying, well, you can't be evicted. Well, what happens 3 months from now when the landlord says, I need $1,800 because you owe me $600 a month, and they still have no income? So we're trying to keep them ahead of that and not falling into the trap of thinking that relief will really apply to them.
Wow. Yeah. So it's clearly a massively needed service, and we all 82 of us thank you so much for doing what you do. And I know that we are looking to assist not only with the 5K this weekend, and Fiona or Steve do point me in the right direction here. I think we're getting additional information out to all 475 of our agents in the next 24 hours to get that going, and then
absolutely
excellent, and then additionally, you know, we're continuing to pivot our way through Red Day as well, and so as we can continue to reach out into all of our databases, when you have 475 people with a database of their own, as we can continue to reach out into those databases to to assist Circle of Care. We will continue to do what we can to keep the funds rolling in this clearly critical time. So again, thank you so much for spending time with us today, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to assist. I am certain that we are going to step up in a big way and fill those coffers.
Thank you so much.
It means so much to us, and especially at this time when corporate partnerships are less and less. It's amazing to have you guys still linking arms with us, and even stepping in a greater way. So we're very, very appreciative.
Awesome, awesome. And before I let you go, Jeff, do tell me, what is your son's name?
Carlos.
Carlos. So Carlos, if you can hear us, you got 82 people saying, "Good job, man." way to kick it.
Oh, he's doing great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We're very lucky. So we're paying it forward. And just so you all know, like 86% of children who are diagnosed with cancer now survive. So the numbers are improving all the time, and there are many more survivors and many more families who are just kind of getting through this day to day than there are children who are dying. So there is some good news in all of it.
And that's encouraging unless you are a parent with a child, because you're thinking of that 20%.
Yeah.
So you are in your own hell for a long time. It's 2 or 3 years, not knowing, because no one will tell you how you're going to come out of it.
Yes, well, we're pleased to know that you guys came out of it in a positive manner, and we're excited to be able to help the way we can to help you pay it all forward. So again, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
We will be in touch and continue through via Fiona and Steve to make sure that we're doing our part.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Sure
Really
thing.
appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so do watch for more information regarding Circle of Care and regarding helping out. That's coming out again within the next tonight into tomorrow, so you can dive in for this weekend. And as we continue to monitor how we'll move forward with Circle of Care for Red Day, we'll keep you posted. Alrighty, so I know we have kind of a jam-packed afternoon, so I want to dive into the next topic, and that is the stats that I promised you. I did run them. I'm going to throw them out at you quickly here. And I do know that tomorrow morning, Dan is also going to work with you on some of these statistics and some additional statistics as well. So let me give you where we are, April versus April, because we're now finished with April. And so the 3 metrics that we're looking at are listings taken, and then under contracts, and then of course pricing, the same as we've been looking at for the last couple of weeks. From a listings taken perspective, and this is for Fairfield County as a market itself, so the whole county, we are down 62% for April in listings taken, right? And so that's an interesting metric, mostly because of what it says about June and July, right? And so understand that. What does it say about June and July?
It'll be
All
down.
sales will be down.
Sales will be down.
Right, so knowing that we're 62% down in listings taken now looks ahead to a June and July that may have us come up a little bit short in terms of closings, because we don't have the inventory right now to be putting under agreement for a month or two, for 2 months from now. So one of the things that we're going to be doing this weekend is figuring out, both next week and the following week, how we're going to take these numbers and really start helping each of you develop a program to figure out the summer, right? Because so far, and I don't want this to skid off the runway in any way, so don't hear what I'm about to say negatively. I want to just keep it real. So far, many of us haven't really felt the financial effects of what has gone on, because we're still closing transactions, right? And which is absolutely awesome. My concern right now for all of us is 60 days from now, as we continue to move through the rest of this, even as we start to maybe come out of some of the restrictions and move into opening, because of what we've been unable to to do right now, does that show up later on? And so we want to make sure that everyone's working with a contingency plan around that. And we will be connecting with you in the next couple of days as to some programs that we'll be putting in place to help you create those plans. Just for fun, I wanted to see what the market centers were doing. So the Fairfield County is down 62%. The market centers are down exactly that same number. So we are just simply following the market. We are down 62% in listings taken from last April to this April, right? Under contracts for April over April, Fairfield County wide, down 13%. So if you remember, we've been talking the last couple of weeks that we expected April to not really be this crater in terms of the contracts that we were writing. That is better news now for June and July, right? Because we're continuing to write what we wrote last year for all intents and purposes, right? The market center, I'll know in a couple of days exactly how the market center fares with that. Those numbers are difficult to pull before we transmit. So as soon as we have that transmittal done for April, we will get you how the market centers are faring with written contracts. But I want you to always be cognizant of the fact that if we're only down 13% this April from last April, turn that around in your conversations. It means that 87% of the market showed up and purchased this April, right? 87% of the people of the numbers that showed up last April showed up this April. And so we're not down in this big hole. And I think that's really important to continue to communicate to people, that the market continues to move. Even if the inventory may be short, the market continues to move. The other thing that these two numbers say to me is that if you have a listing right now that is not getting a lot of attention or not receiving offers, they have to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is that they are priced outside of what the market is currently recognizing for them, because everything that's on the market, even though nothing new, very little new is coming to the market, the stuff that's on there is going, right? We've got less inventory coming on. We've got 13% down April over April, which means we do have a market that's moving. So people are out there buying. If they're not buying your client's home, it's only for one reason. So let's get those conversations scheduled and had. If you need some help or want some help with that, reach out and we'll be happy to assist in those conversations. I broke it down just quickly, four different towns, just to give you where those two numbers stand. Stamford, listings taken down 66%, under contracts down 15%. Ridgefield, listings taken down 71%, under contracts flat. The exact same number of under contracts this April as opposed to last April. Danbury, listings taken down 56%. That's the lowest number of the four towns I pulled in terms of new listings to the market, right? Down only 56%. Under contracts down 24%. And Norwalk, listings taken down 69%, under contracts down 24%. So just to see, for all intents and purposes, the listings taken numbers follow suit throughout those specific towns as they do with the county. However, the under contracts are a little bit different. Most of the four major towns that we spend a lot of time in are down, with Ridgefield being flat, and yet the county as a whole down 13% from last year. So know how your towns are moving, so that you can have those direct conversations. From a pricing perspective, for all intents and purposes, prices are pretty flat. So there's no real news to report yet in pricing. If something's going to happen in pricing, it didn't happen yet. It may be coming, and yet it hasn't happened yet. So that's kind of just a quick update on stats for you. Any quick questions on those?
Is pricing flat? Is that all Fairfield County?
Correct.
Thank you.
Could you say what Stamford was again? I missed that.
I'll post them and I'll shoot them out to you later on so that we can keep moving. Or somebody put it in the chat box, please. Any other specific questions? Okay, so let's get to the fun of the day, which was unemployment. Unemployment. If you remember when we first started talking about unemployment for independent contractors, one of the pieces of information that I had given you from the federal guidelines was that you had to apply at the state level and be denied so that you could then flip over into the federal side, right? And then we got guidance a couple of weeks ago that said that was not true, that you don't have to be denied, that they're going to just open this new portal and have you apply there as independent contractors. Well, today we got word when the portal, the new portal for the independent contractors was supposed to go live, that you do indeed have to apply at the regular state site and be denied. So that, and then once you're denied, then you get something that shows up on your account, this little red button that's not there yet, for you to apply for the federal version of this. So here's what we need you to do if you haven't done it already. For those of you who have applied at Connecticut Department of Labor, right? That's ctdol.gov, I believe. I sent you the link too. I think it's filectui. Something. I sent you the link in the email, so just check that link. When you get to that page, you'll go to the blue button and go through the process that we went through 3 weeks ago. If you don't know what to do, we did an entire video. I sent you the link to that video via email as well, so do click on that and rewatch that. If you have questions about a specific spot, you can fast forward through the video and find that spot and get the answer. The one thing that I do know was incorrect when we walked you through that was the employer registration number. However, I did send you that as well via email as an update about an hour or two ago. So do utilize the number that I sent out via email as the employer registration number. Remember, you are your own employer because you're self-employed. Your employer is not Keller Williams Realty. It's you and then that employer number that we sent. Again, watch that video for more information on that. And I want to just try and clear up a little bit of confusion. That for those of you who have received, who did apply a couple of weeks ago or last week or whatever, and you've received information saying you're approved, or here's the email, here's how you process, here's how you go and file each week. Remember that you are not eligible for state unemployment benefits. So regardless of what has been said to you, you will not receive state unemployment benefits because you're not eligible. You will receive at some point a piece of paper, either in the mail or via email, I can't remember which way it comes, that outlines for you your last year of earnings. And it will have all zeros in it. That is not a mistake. It's not a mistake because they look back and see what qualified earnings you had that are qualified to base your benefits on from W-2 employment. Most of you, if you're only earning an income from real estate, are not W-2 employees. So your eligible income, regardless of how much you made last year, is all zeros. And they will say to you, you made no money. It is not because they're looking at the wrong tax return. It is not because they've made a mistake. It is not because they have to catch up with something else. It's because you don't have eligible employment income. So those zeros are correct. That is in effect your denial, right? Because you don't get state benefits. Therefore, once they process things through and that little button becomes available, we will get guidance from CTDOL about when that button becomes available for you. Then you go and you click the red button in that same spot that you clicked the blue button to apply, and you go through whatever that new portal is going to ask of you. I don't know yet what the new portal is going to tell us because I thought we would have it today. And so thank you to all those volunteers yesterday. It just didn't show up. Instead, we got, please go and do what we told you not to do first. So that's the update on that. And I know how crazy confusing it is. And yet at some point next week, we should have an opportunity for everyone who has applied to go back in. By the way, those of you who have applied, and they told you to go back and file your claim each Sunday night, please keep doing that if it allows you to do that. You've got to kind of stay current so that when that red button appears, they can flip you on over and push you into the new system. It is my understanding that everybody will need to go to that red button once it's available on the site. However, you do have to go through the process of hitting the state site first. With that, any questions that I didn't cover or that you're still confused about?
One quick one, Rick, Dan here.
Yes.
You know, you gave us that 9999995 number, and I already had applied, and I tried to go back in to correct it, and then you can't.
It's okay. It's okay. So if you, again, my email said right at the bottom there, if you've already applied using a different number and you didn't have that 999 number, don't worry about it, because the rest of you are in, those of you who did it with a different number, I can't remember what I told you to put in there. I think I told you to put your social security number in there or something, which was incorrect, right? Because we were guessing at that point. However, they processed it anyway. So I don't believe it's going to matter what you put in there. I know some of you also put Keller Williams Realty as your employer. Again, they know more about you and your employment than what you told them, right? Because they go back to their records about what they have from the state, and they pull all of that data to clarify that it is really you. And so I don't think that's going to matter. You don't have to go in and correct it. That I know of right now, because again, eventually you'll get that red button opportunity, and that's really where you're going to apply. What else?
I have a question. It's Mary
Yeah.
Pat.
Yes.
I make a small amount of money at a job with a W-2 form. What happens then? Because there's a lot of questions like, do you have any other income, da 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 da.
Yeah, so that's a great question. When you go through the process, answer everything honestly, right? And so if you do have a secondary something or other that's W-2, you are going to have to report to them that, and you're still employed there, if you're still earning money there, you will have to report that. And that will, depending on how much money that is, it will offset some of your unemployment earnings. Unless it's a whole lot of money, it likely won't reduce it to zero, but it may reduce it some. So you do have to just tell them the truth, because again, they know, especially if it's W-2 income, they know what money you make. So just tell them the truth, and they'll do all the numbers. It'll come out in the wash. It shouldn't eliminate you from the opportunity for the federal side as an independent contractor. And we'll know more once that little red button opens up and we can see the actual portal and what they're asking. But my advice until then is go through, file the claim, tell the truth, and then let's see what happens next.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What else? Anybody else?
Just to confirm, this is on your chat. If we received a notice in the mail that we were not eligible, a bunch of zeros, we just check in on the file.ctui.com website and check and see if there's a red button eventually that we're going to able to click on.
Yes, correct. And again, I will let everybody know as soon as the red button is supposed to appear. Getting information from lots of different sources, and not always from CTR. Supposed to be getting kind of advance notice from CTR, and today I got advance notice from another board in the middle of the state that I belong to before CTR started to release any information. So I've got my ears open and my eyes out as many different places as I can possibly pull information from to get you information fast, so that you can get your fingers typing as quickly as we have new information. So I will keep watching, but yes, do check in. And again, if you've been told in any way, shape, or form that you have to go in on Sunday and update something and like file the claim, I encourage you to keep doing that so that you don't get bumped. I have no idea if that really is necessary at this point. If it were me though, I would not risk it. So I would keep doing whatever it is they told you to do. If they told you to do nothing, then do nothing. If they told you to go in Sundays and click some buttons and update a claim, do that every Sunday, even though the numbers are 0. And again, the good news is that we should have clarity around this next week. I know I've been saying that week after week after week, and yet the idea is we should have clarity by the middle of next week on that portal, and we'll then walk you through it once we know more about it. Anything else on that? I know there was a question in the chat box about PPP versus unemployment. Yeah, I'm going to say again, apply for both. You'll have to work to try and find someone who will take your PPP application. That's getting harder and harder to find. The source we had the other day, we got a couple of people in that night, and maybe the first thing the very next morning, and then that shut down on us as well. So last Saturday, I think I emailed you a communication from CTR with a list of credit unions that were accepting applications on behalf of non-customers. So go ahead and give them a call. I don't encourage you to just go on their website. I encourage you to pick up the phone and call and talk to somebody. Call and ask them, are you taking applications? Are you taking applications from people who don't have accounts with you? And what's your process? Can you send it to me? Is there somebody to help me? Like, ask all those questions and get that in. If you're interested in getting your PPP in, I wouldn't wait. I think you've already waited too long. Get them in, because the money will run out again. I'm surprised, frankly, it's lasted this long. So don't delay. Find somebody to get that in and get it taken care of. And so the stimulus checks, if you go to irs.gov, I'll send out a link. It's called Get My Payment, but if you go to irs.gov, and it should be on their homepage. As a matter of fact, maybe I can find it for you while we're talking. If you go to irs.gov, there is a place for you. Yep, let me share the screen with you. Hold on. If you go to irs.gov, which looks like this, and you go to the Get My Payment tab, if you go here, you'll see you'll need your 2019 return if you've already filed it, or your 2018 return. You click on Get My Payment, and it asks you, it tells you blah, 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 please don't do mean things. And then it will ask you for your social, your date of birth, your street address. Oh, well, it's going to ask me. Okay. Hold on, let me just do it for you so you can see. Uh-oh, was I not born that day?
Put in the slash, a backslash.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so you fill out that information, and then you so unfortunately, I can't get that. I'm not eligible for a stimulus payment. So if you're not eligible, this is typically what you get. You cannot determine your eligibility for a payment at this time. The other reason you might get that, if you go here, is because you didn't file a tax return, or you are ineligible. And so again, there's FAQs here that I think will be helpful for you. What I understand is that if you do get to the next step, it does ask you to confirm kind of who you are, and it asks you to confirm who you are by asking you some details about your last tax return. If you got a refund, it'll ask you how much the refund was. If you owed, it'll ask how much you owed. So just follow the directions, and you should be able to get a status on your stimulus check. Any other questions? Well, I think we are done then at 5:10. Thank you for hanging in there. I know we went a little long today, but I did want to make sure that everyone was up to speed on what they can and should be applying for in order to assist. This new physical showing form did go out today, so do make sure that you are converting that over. An issue came up that I'll just say out loud real quick, and that issue was, what if my sellers have been in contact with people who are ill or have tested positive, i.e. you have sellers who are doctors. And so the answer to that is, good question. I hadn't thought of that. So let me think on that one overnight. I will have a solution. The solution is likely we'll just stick with the old form on that. And maybe we can use this form for, we can adjust this form to just have the buyers and the buyer's agency. I don't know yet. So let me think on that one. It's like how many ways can you play stump the teacher with this crap, right? And so I will get back to you on what if the sellers can't sign because they actually have been in contact even though they're not ill. So let me work on that overnight and I'll get back to you. Until then, guys, have a lovely, lovely evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, bright and early. Good night.
Thanks, Rick.